Thanks for tuning in to KT Garage. This is part 46 of the Superhawk build project. It's the weekend, it's here. I'm getting pretty excited. I get the whole weekend to work on the truck again. I have a lot of things planned for the truck. Of course, it's not gonna get done all of it, but we'll get one thing done at a time. I'm gonna keep focusing on electrical, but I'm gonna do some other things too in between. I'll keep you guys posted throughout the day. Okay, so I'm going to start out with something different today. I have this chair sitting here for fitment purposes, and it's been sitting here for a while, and I really don't want to take this up to my storage again upstairs. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it in the truck. I think the passenger side, I can start putting the chairs in because I can walk in and out from the driver's side. Now, before I get it in, I do want to customize it a little bit, and you can see that I already colored the threads with the light green to match the body color. Now, I learned this trick from one of my friends, and it works out really well. You can go into Amazon and buy yourself these markers, and there's like 100 colors to pick from. This is the color that I picked, and it matches really well with the truck color. You can see that's what it looked like, and I started this row already, and it looks really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this entire chair with the colors on, and then I'm gonna start cutting holes for the speaker because the speaker got to go on before I get the chair on. So cut the hole, we'll get the speaker installed, and we'll get the chair in. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys real quick on how to get this done. And you don't have to like do it every single thread. You actually can just like run across them just like that. It does not take that long at all, guys. So don't worry if you get it on the leather, because you can wipe them off. As soon as you get the color on, you can wipe off the color on or the marking on the leather. So this is how I'm doing it. I just pour a little bit of rubber alcohol on it on the cloth, and then you just like run over what you just got done. And the rubber alcohol removes everything on the leather, but it's not affecting the threads. So that's how I get it done, guys. It's super simple, and it's cheap too. I think I paid like 10 bucks or something like that for this entire kit. Okay, so it took me about 10 minutes to get the entire chair done. Not a big deal at all. You can see these are the new thread color. And you can see that none of the paint was stuck to the leather. I was able to clean it all out with the rubbing alcohol. Looks great. Okay, so for mid and high speaker, I selected the 6.5-inch Kenwood. These are really reliable. I have them in the past. I really like them. So I'm gonna have 4 speakers. There's gonna be, and you can see I already marked the location for the holes to be cut. So there's gonna be one here for the passenger side, and then let's see if I can focus in. So you see another hole over there, and that's on the passenger side, of course, and then there's gonna be the same setup on the driver's side. And to cut the hole, they provide you with templates just like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a jigsaw to cut the holes, get the speaker mounted. I'm gonna do all the wiring later. I just want all the mechanical stuff installed. Well, guys, it was a big fail. I didn't realize that when I built this side of the truck, I didn't have a whole lot of room. So I have the seat that's kind of just rubbing against this. There's no clearance, like zero clearance. So when I put the speaker on here, it sticks out about 1/2 inch, and I'm not able to slide the seat back and forward. So definitely not gonna work. So what I'm gonna do is I'll just cut a piece of plexiglass just to cover this, and then I'm gonna move the speaker up to where the kick panel is. That's where I should put it in the first place. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Well, guys, I plug up that hole. I used that plexiglass that I purchased for the tail lights. I'm gonna use a piece of that to covering up that hole instead of cutting a piece of metal and having to paint it. Doesn't look too bad. It looks like some kind of a access area, so not too bad. Now you can see that I moved the hole further down away from the seat. Now I'm gonna have to start over again and cut that hole. Well, guys, I'm gonna try a different tool to cut the hole this time. So I forgot that I have this body saw sitting out back in the shop. I use this for the Dodge Challenger project, the cut sheet metals. I hope it works for thicker gauge metal. I'm gonna try this. I used the Dremel tool to complete that other hole, and it took like way too long. So hopefully this works out a little bit better. Oh, guys, the body saw didn't work. It's meant for much thinner sheet metals. I think it's meant for like 22 gauge sheet metals. So mine, I think it's like 14 gauge or 16 or something like that. Twice as thick as the normal body on a car. So I'm gonna have to go back to my Dremel tool. It's a pain. It's a lot slower, but that's the only way I'm gonna get this done. Okay, so I'm gonna put the speaker into the vehicle on the new spot, of course. But before that, I want to go ahead and hook up the wires, or at least extend them, so I can just like get this wire all the way to the stereo later and not having to take this back out of the vehicle. Now for wiring, you want to go get yourself a name brand wire. Don't just go to Amazon and start ordering 12 gauge wire. Look up a really good name brand, because they're gonna last a lot longer. You get really cheap ones, it only lasts you a year or two, and then it gets corroded, and you know it won't have good connection. So yeah, make sure you do that. Now I'm gonna connect the wires using this new method, and you've seen me done this a few times before, where I connect wire using the lead on the inside. You can heat it up using a heat gun and melt it, and then these two blue pieces are going to melt as well and shrink, so it form a watertight fit. I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so here are the wires that are supposed to be connecting. I went with the larger, since you see that there's different in diameter sizes, I'm gonna have to go with the bigger one as far as selecting the connector. So I'm gonna jam it in. You can see that the wire crosses the lead, and then on this side, I'm gonna come through the other side just like that, and you can clearly see that these two wires are overlapping. So at this point, I can go ahead and heat up the connection. So at this point, you can see that the lead portion of it shrunk. They actually melted to form a solid soldered connection, and these two ends, there's compounds in here that actually make it watertight. So it's a really nice connection. And we go ahead and do this side as well. All right, the speaker is finally in. You see it is sitting really nice and organized on that corner. I got the chair in as well. It's starting to look really decent. So looking at the seat from passenger side, it's looking really cool. It's starting to look like a car. Here we go. It sits real nicely. Now the only problem is it is like snug fit. There's just no room for maneuvering at all, but that's okay. I got it secured and everything, so it should be fine. Just whoever sits here doesn't have a whole lot of room besides what's in the seat. Look at the huge separation between like the person that sits on this side and then the driver, like this giant island over here. So, but you know, that's the way it goes. I really can't get the seat to be any closer to this side because there's a transmission sitting right here, and there's a bunch of structure in there that I kind of just, you know, limited to what I can do. Just to give you guys some perspective of what's happening to the way I designed the passenger seat. You can see that the fuel tank is right there. I gave about 1 inch of clearance, just making sure everything fit perfectly. So that wall right there is kind of just, it has to be the way it is, and that is why the seat is so tight. Well guys, it's late Sunday afternoon, time to call it quit. I thought that getting the speakers on and get the seat on was just a few hours task. It ended up took me all weekend long. It's just one of those days that, you know, nothing fit. You thought it fit, but then it didn't, and you ended up spending a bunch of time to make modifications, and before you know it, your day is over. This is one of those days. Anyway, I'm glad that the seats are on. It's looking awesome. I really love it. The way it looks is already secured. Everything is set. So next week I'm gonna start to work on something else. So this side is pretty much done as far as, you know, completion of truck build. Next week I'm gonna finish up the other side, speakers, and then we'll get on to the electrical system again. I appreciate you guys tuning in to KT Garage. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. Thank you.